Today from Media North Texas, I'm your host, Ethan Leach, with our special guests, Stalefish. Stalefish is an Austin area alt-rock band performing here in Denton live at Rubber Gloves on January 14th as part of their Stalefish Does America tour. Would you care to introduce yourselves?
I'm Dalton.
I'm Jack.
All right, we got 3 of the 6 to score.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The most prominent question that we have is how did you all come up with the name Stalefish?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can explain the name. I was just gonna say it took us like 4 to 5 months to pick that name. We had a lot of really bad names for like the beginning of the band. Like we started in April and we didn't have a name until like the week. I think it was like 2 weeks before our first show, which was like July 28th or something like that. So it was a hard fought battle for us.
That was like the hardest thing. But Stalefish is the name of a skateboarding trick. It's like a really cool grab that like
I looked it up and it was showing like Tony Hawk and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it's pretty sick because Tony Hawk did like a trick tip or something recently on how to do. He was like, how to do Stalefish, and so we that was a content gold mine right there that we hopped on. But yeah, it's just like a skateboarding trick that sounds not like a skateboarding trick unless you know. So that's kind of and we were just like, that sounds cool, which is funny because we were so like, let's make it mean something. That's why we wasted 4 months.
Yeah. I was looking at your the YouTube music videos and I was like, I'm getting closer and closer to the skateboarding, but I'm not sure. Oh, there goes Jack. Jack's in the car, by the way. Before the interview started, we were like, maybe this is the 88.1 Stalefish interview as the headline, or Stalefish band member dies on the interview.
That's tragic.
Mid interview.
Tragic death returning from 6 nights of fish at Madison Square Garden.
That's what I was gonna say. If that's your last memory, though, is 6 nights in a row of fish, I couldn't. What a way to go!
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better.
Yeah, no,
better.
Like,
in peace.
I really do hope he's all right, though. That was kind of,
oh, he's fine.
Okay. So, we were sitting in the office and we call it research. Amazing branding, by the way. Stalefish Instagram has amazing branding, by the way.
Thank you.
We were going through it all, and we found so many different previous band names. We found Where's Molly? We found Artificial Death. We found Golden Days. So just sort of leading up to this, what was the journey like? I know you said 4 to 5 months coming up with the name, but like this is as far as I know going from like 2020.
Honestly, more like 2019. I think if you're taking it all the way back to Where's Molly, that's 29. Dalton and I we both go to UT Austin. Hook'em. Just suffered a crushing loss in the college football playoffs, so that's okay.
Yep.
But yeah, we met at orientation our freshman year, and at that time, I was in a band. Taking it even further back, like 2015, I was in a band with Jack actually called the Couch People. We were Denton legends at that time. We played several shows at J&J's and Killer's Tacos. Neither of those places are there anymore, right? They're both gone.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah,
so
I was looking at Spotify and I was trying to find analytics, whatever I could find, and I saw the Couch People. It kept popping up, but
yeah.
There's nothing on social media like linking any of the band members like explicitly to the Couch People. So I was like, I guess this is like not part of it, but now it is.
It's all part of
even
it.
Further back, 2015.
Speaking of band names, Couch People is pretty solid, I think.
No, I hate
in terms of name. I remember I liked it a lot when I was like, damn, that's such a good name.
But yeah, Dalton
right before the show.
Yeah, maybe we will. Just for Denton.
Yeah. for the
But
day.
yeah, so we were both Couch People was ending, and we were also in a band called Dentures that existed for a summer. That was fun. That was me and Jack as well. And Dalton was in Where's Molly, which was like his high school band. And we both kind of wanted to do something else in college. And so we started our first band that was just me and Dalton was the Mams, which then became Super Lush. And then and yeah, but it was mainly Where's Molly for Dalton for a long time.
But you know, since 2015, then I guess, I mean, alt rock as a genre, I mean, a key characteristic of it is like it's a fusion of many different genres, or at least motifs throughout those genres. So, as an alt rock band, what artists, what music forms, what art forms have inspired you?
Probably in terms of artists, like we really, as a whole, like really draw a lot from like the 90s kind of alt scene. So like that's kind of our holy grail of sorts. Bands like the Breeders, Pavement, um, who else have we been
Ween,
talking? Yeah,
Guided by Voices.
like that eclectic, but still like pretty straightforward. Like finding that balance between like being kind of weird and in your own lane, but also being like, yeah, we're like a rock and roll band that anybody can get down with, Pixies or stuff like that. Yeah. That's kind of what we've always looked towards. And then also like however little we like to admit it, I feel like we are fairly just influenced by what's going on around us in terms of like not necessarily the music, but just in terms of like our aesthetic or like the content that we put out or like the way that we try and like look. I don't know, and not look like physically, but just look like as a cohesive unit. It's pretty influenced by the people around us, just reacting, to what other people are doing and trying to make ourselves different.
And I think in terms of like contemporary influences or like more contemporary influences, I think we also kind of draw a lot from like Parquet Courts and the Lemon Twigs, like bands like that that are kind of, doing sort of like a rock thing, like an alt rock thing, but sort of like outside of it's definitely not like shoegaze or like and we have done the shoegaze thing. We've done it all. We've done it all.
I was reading over your past interviews, and you all have so many different crowd reactions that you just like go through. Sometimes the crowd is just not there because nobody buys your tickets, but whenever they do come, there's so much energy in the crowd and it's so alive. And I was like, how does it get to this point? But it's so many things coming together. And when I was listening to your music, when I first heard about you guys, I pulled up your music. First thing I always do, I don't look for like previous interviews. I look at their music. I listen to their music. I was listening to your music, and I just went through all three singles in like one sitting. And I was listening to Wash Your Hair Forever, and I was like, this is like super melodic. I love it. And then I moved on to Mrs. Jones and Cold and Still, and then I really got that like really rich, punk grunge vibe. And I love this. I love this. They totally could make this huge. But since 2015, wow, it's like a really, really long time. 7, 8, going on 9 years coming up.
Oh, geez. That is 9 years ago, huh? That sucks.
It does suck when you
That
put it
really
that way.
sucks. Yeah.
It's
Have
really
any
been
of you ever
being
done
our head.
a tour before?
This will be my first tour. I think the only person this feels wrong to do to blow up his spot now that he's not in here, but Jack was he was a member. If you want to do some real deep diving, Jack was a member of the School of Rock of Flower Mound touring band. And so he went on like a US tour with the School of Rock, playing like Guns N' Roses covers and shit like that.
Goodness.
And then he's also toured with like other he's in another band called Bigfoot and the Gregs, and they just toured with the Buttertones for a little bit. And like Jack's our vet in terms of that kind of stuff. But yeah, otherwise none of us.
Our youngest yet our most experienced.
So your Instagram, Stalefish, is only following one person, Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. What's the story behind that?
God bless him. That's a story.
God love him.
Yeah. No.
That was Dalton. That was all Dalton.
Yeah. With Golden Days. So yeah, I'll blow us up right now as well on this. Who cares, huh? Stalefish Instagram is just the Golden Days Instagram changed because basically Golden Days was it's literally everybody in Stalefish. So except for one person. So we were just like, we're kind of just combining like our projects to make it one thing. So we're like, let's just keep it on the Golden Days Instagram because anybody who liked Golden Days will like that. So we did that. But on the Golden Days Instagram, we only followed Oprah. And we decided to switch it to Wemby because it was like right around the time that he was gonna be like drafted. And I don't know if you like follow a lot of sports. I'm a Spurs fan. I was born in San Antonio. So, and he's supposed to be like the next, he's just a basketball god. So I thought it would be funny. And the reason that we follow one person is, I'm just blowing us up. I don't care. Full transparency. It's always like weird. It's always like weird to follow people on a band account because you kind of like, depending on the show that you play, you feel like a little obligated to at times or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to follow them, or sometimes you do, or like sometimes they don't follow you back, or like, so it just gets kind of weird.
Yeah.
So if we're only following one person, it's like nobody can get mad at you for not following them because they have to get it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to follow Wemby and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like setting the bar high, you know.
It's a bold marketing strategy. I think it's also just because I think at least like what Dalton was saying, Stalefish is sort of just like a combination of both of like Golden Days and Artificial Death, which were like our two longest running projects before Stalefish. And on the Artificial Death account, I was crippled with political fall. I don't know, like I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and I don't want to like leave anyone out, and like I don't want to, but there's just, there's new bands popping up every day down here and up there. Like there's new bands every day, new promoters every day, and it's like,
but the reality is everybody deals with that. So you can't that's one of those things you have to be like, I know I'm feeling this way, and I know for a fact that everybody else feels this way. So I can't like in their own merit, like whoever runs their own band's Instagram has these same like qualms, It's just like you can't be mad at that.
Russian responsibility.
If you follow us, you know what you're getting into. You gotta be about it.
Yeah. I have to be better. I have to be better, actually. Just ascending podcast god, I guess. I don't know.
You got to be the next first round draft pick in the NBA.
I'll just grow like 2 feet. It's fine.
Yeah, just become the next projected face of the NBA. Maybe we'll throw you a follow.
Stranger things have happened.
Hey, seriously.
So since Jack is youngest but most experienced, how are the rest of you feeling about this tour? It's a week long, right? But it's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, it's like, I think in terms of days, it's 7 days, but we spread it out across a couple weekends just so like we could work in the middle and stuff like that. I know I'm really excited for it, but I am nervous for sure. Just like doing all that traveling does kind of add a lot of logistical stuff that a lot of it has yet to be figured out. Like, for instance, where we will stay in Houston and Corpus Christi, but it'll happen. We'll figure it out. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be there.
We'll definitely be staying there.
We will be in that city. So whatever happens.
I am really excited for the tour experience. So like I think it's going to just be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've like always wanted to do something like this, and we never really had like, or I guess we have never really had like the support to like make it happen in turn. Like I could not tell you where to even like begin to like book a tour. And then we signed with Happen Twice recently, which kind of really, Chandler is the guy who like runs Happen Twice, which is like the label here in Austin that we were with. And he really kind of took the reins on that and was like, let's get this going and everything. So huge shout out to Chandler. We were just texting him right now. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. I'm kind of nervous too, though, for the second like half of it, because I start school again on like, what day is it? A little calendar above my. I start school pretty soon. Yeah,
doing mental math the entire time on stage. Yeah, exactly. Scheduling tests.
Seriously, no, and this is like my last semester of school, and it's supposed to be like pretty difficult. Yeah. So, but it'll be first week, so it'll be fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's only like you go into class and it's like Alcoholics Anonymous, and they're just like, everybody say your name, we'll go in a circle.
Like, well, no, it's like I'm in grad school right now, so it's like a class of like 40 people. So I've been in the same class with the same people for the past like 8 or no, probably like 6 months, just like every single day sitting next to the exact same people for like 8 hours every day in the same room, windowless room. Like, so dude, seriously, windowless room with like inspirational posters, like just line power, resilience, intellect, like
Russian school children in the Arctic Circle when the sun doesn't come up for 3 months.
We get to the teacher's like, okay, take a 5-minute break. We go stand outside in the sun for 5 minutes and then crawl back in.
Pull out the UV lamps when it's test day. Anyway, so Stalefish Does America releases on January 12th, the day you start touring. Is there anything you can tell us before then?
It's 11 songs long. It's like 30 something minutes long, 34, 5 minutes long. Heaters, front to back,
Bang.
all killer, no filler.
So excited. Especially
for we have like, I think the main thing we're excited about for it is I feel like we were pretty successful in highlighting like everyone in the band, because it's a big band, there's 6 of us, and when we first started, we didn't want to do this just to do it. Like originally it was a 7-person band and we had 2 drummers, and it was kind of ridiculous. And so after we downsized that, we were like, okay, like we had to be like really intentional about what we're doing. So I think we've done a good job at like highlighting the 4 voices that we have like across the band, and like all the different instrumentation, and like we rotate who plays bass and who's on guitar between me, Dalton, and Jack, and I think that brings about like some really cool stuff. So there's a journey to be had, I suppose.
So I remember in the November 15th interview that you did, they just labeled Jonathan. They spelled both Jonathan's names wrong. And then they just put in parentheses after it was like drums. So how do you how do you differentiate? There's two Johns.
Drum John and Keys John.
Yeah.
Their first name.
Because their names are both spelled.
First name drums, last name John. First name Keys, last name John.
Yeah, because their names are spelled. Yeah, weird, both weird and like both the same, and then they have different
like one letter names. Difference. Like one letter difference.
Yeah. It's Jonathan versus Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in the office, and we were doing our investigation, and we were like, "There's no way this is real. There's no way this is real." But then, like, the deeper we went, the realer it got. And we were like, how are we gonna am I gonna say Mr. Pedraza? Am I gonna say Mr. Cazares? Like, what am I gonna do? And I was freaking out, and just like your John Solid.
He used to play bass in Golden Days, and this is how I've had him in my phone ever since I've known him. But yeah, it's very much just like we're just like keys John, drum John, bass John. Is like
or sometimes you just like say John and look at one of them, and then they just know to which John you're just referring.
Point with your eyes, just be like,
yeah,
John.
You don't even know.
But then literally right on the dot, you two showed up, and then Jack stopped by.
He was here for a brief moment.
I hope he's still alive. I hope he didn't like.
Yeah, we've confirmed it. We've checked vitals.
Yeah, you just have a tracker app on your phone.
Proof of life.
Proof of life.
Okay, anyway, but that's all the questions that I had. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having us.
Once again, Stalefish is performing Kieran Denton live at Rubber Gloves on January 14th as part of their first tour, Stalefish Does America. My special guest.
I'm Macy Whiten. I am the promotions director for 88.1 Indie, and you can find Stalefish's Instagram up above, Stalefish with 5 H's, and you can also find their music on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube.